Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends. I know you look at that thumbnail and you're like, is Stu trying to pull a clickbait on us? And I'm not. Basically what we're doing is we're tricking the AI to attack somebody, to attack the strong affinity in a run. What I'm saying is that the AI will attack the strong affinity, which means that they're going to do weak hits on that champion. When they weak hit, they cannot crit, they do less damage, and they cannot apply debuffs. So it's going to make it super easy for us to get through these runs. And the reason why I came up with this is because I was looking at doing an all Lizardman run for Dragon, but I needed something in there just to make sure that we got a 100% win rate that really wouldn't slow us down either. So I put a level 50 Basilisk in here. A lot of the people I'm going to use, you might not need books, or you might need few books. You won't have to take them to 60, but they are also DPSers. So you could bring them in there as full-on DPSers and let them attack this one. So you see here Basilisk, he's Force. That's great. If they attack him, they're going to do damage to a Force champion. Probably not that much. Plus, he has a passive to where he comes back to life. Here we go. Weak hit, one strong hit. Actually, that was 2 weak hits there. If they kill him, he's going to come back to life with a block damage buff on him. Now, with this crew, like I said, I got the idea from this. We're going to see some much better footage of it working out for any runs that you do. But I got the idea from it because I wanted to do this team, and I thought a tournament with any faction, but it wasn't like that. So that I had a 100% win rate. Because when I brought just the 3 in here, Fushan along with the 2 Dracos, every once in a while we'd have it fail. Something would go wrong maybe on the wave 2 and they would come out and hit somebody. But you see he came back to life with a block damage buff and we're good. And then I was looking at champions like Bushi here that can come back to life every 3 turns. And I do have him at level 60. I do have him booked out. You would not need to take him to level 60. Level 4-star is fine. Whatever you want to do with him, as long as you get this down to a 3-turn cooldown, it will help with this one. Another one, we don't even have to worry about 3-turn cooldowns. But this champion is actually really good right now. He can do some amazing damage. And then on a 3-turn cooldown, come back to life, puts an unkillable buff on himself, and then just 2 more turns, you're good to go. He will come back to life again. So you saw us already using Basilisk. I also pulled out this orc here, Torture Helm, which comes back in 3 turns as well. Where are you at, Torture Helm? Here he is. This one needs no books, comes back to life at 50% HP on a 3-turn cooldown. That is pretty wild. So we can bring this champion in as your dedicated meat shield tank. All they're going to do is attack this champion, weak hits to him, and then if he dies, he comes back to life, 50% HP. You put an apothecary in there. You never have to worry about your other people dying. You just got to make sure that he has really low HP. Okay, on to the second run. So we know we got to get really low HP compared to the other champions we have running with us. Right here, here he is, Torture Helm in here. We've got people with decent HP, moderate HP. I got a team in here that, look, nothing special whatsoever. We have 1 Cold Heart, we've got a War Maiden, Torture Helm, and then we've also got Frozen Banshee. So that once we get to, and that's all we need to do, right? Get to the boss. A lot of people have problems with the waves. They get a decreased defense here. They have these Hordens come in and start wrecking everybody. Look at that. They're coming after our Torture Helm. And they did. They didn't get a weak hit then, but he came back to life with 50% HP. If you have Apothecary in here, what can Apothecary do? Well, he can do a 2-turn heal. Every 2 turns he can heal. Also, he increases speed on everybody, which is amazing. Boom. Now we get a couple. That Terrell will always hit my Cold Heart. I've run this about 50 times with a whole bunch of different teams. That Tay always hits my Cold Heart no matter what. I don't know what it is. It's programmed weird that way. But the rest of them, the Hordens, all the rest, will go after our Torture Helm, do weak hits on him. And then if I wanted to, like if I wanted to make that Torture Helm do more DPS, though he does do damage based off of HP, I could make him 6-star, but you kind of don't want to in this scenario. Here you want to keep his HP low. So the gear I have on him is very minimal. Super minimal. I think I even took off a helmet because I didn't want as much HP. Helmet or shield, whichever one does the HP. I think it's helmet. I took that off of him so he wouldn't have as much. That way they would gun for him. So there we go. We took 2 hits from these guys. Second wave, he's back up again. Can Apothecary come in here? There he is. Apothecary came in with that 2-round heal. There's that Terrell again, always going after that Cold Heart. I told you, I don't know why. I've run it so many times. And the Terrell always does that. There we go. Horden again. 2 hits, not even hurting him. And look at the rest of my people. I'm bringing in people. Of course, my Cold Heart has an HP percentage chest. That's it. The rest of them as well don't even have that. I think we'll look at Torture Helm's HP. I think his HP is like 28,000. And then we've got some other ones in here that are just above that. 30, 33, 32, something like that. He might even be down to 25,000. But it doesn't matter. Look at this. Look at with that little HP, what he's doing. On a 3-turn cooldown to come back to life with 50% HP. Then you've got an Apothecary. And then once we're here, you know once we're at the Dragon and you have somebody like a Frozen Banshee with lifesteal gear, War Master, so that she can heal back up, she can solo this dragon. Solo it up. Plus we have Cold Heart in here, of course, to help us speed it up a little bit more. And we're done. That's the whole objective, to get here. Of course, he's not going to help us out in the dragon. But people struggle getting through those waves. And this is an easy way for us to trick the AI. And I've done this before. I've shown you this, guys, many, many times, where I've taken my apothecary, taken every bit of HP off of that apothecary, put nothing but increased defense on him, and made him my sole target every time I run through here. Because he's such a great champion. So why not let him take all the hits and him heal himself all the time? There he is. We lost some people. That's fine. Apothecary's coming. Now, usually, I think this was actually a bad run too, but I was good. I wanted to keep it because Torture Helm stays to the end. There he is. He is back at the end. Let's go on to another run here. We're going to use Bushi, my boy, doing damage. Now, this time, he's actually the weak affinity. So I'm going to show you what a weak affinity can do when he doesn't weak hit. He can still do some mass amount of damage. 83,000 on that one, as long as he doesn't weak hit, right? And they're going to gun for him. Even if he had pretty decent HP, they would still be gunning for him. But he's going to come back every 3 turns with a block damage buff, right? Unkillable. I think this one gets an unkillable. Basilisk had the block damage. So there they are. They're still working. I mean, he doesn't even have that much HP. They are working on him. He does have 1 resistance banner, which is helping him out, I think, quite a bit. He's got counterattack masteries, which is helping him resist a lot of these debuffs, which is great. And we just run through it. Pretty soon he's going to die. If he does die, boom, he's back up. Look at that. He's got a buff on him right now. 3-turn cooldown. So that means after this turn, he's got 2 more turns before he can die and come back to life again. And we've got our apothecary there, healing him right back up. Healing him right back up. No problem. And this is the way we go through the waves. This is it. And he's putting out damage. I actually really like Bushi's damage right now. He is doing, with that A2, you don't need crit rate. It always crits. Plus now, since the buff, they put an increased crit rate buff on that and a speed buff on it. So look, he's got 30% increased crit. So you don't have to come in with a whole bunch of crit. You just load him up with critical damage, a little bit of crit, you know, whatever you can find. And then he gets that crit buff for 30% additional plus your masteries. I mean, you're set with him. Oh, he died. He's back up. Back up with unkillable on. Apothecary is going to give him a... Really, we don't want him to be fast. I think my Bushi is at 142 speed. Really. But he's putting a speed buff on himself too. Bushi's a good champion. And then what do we have? Okay, we had him heal him. If Horden gets him right here, okay, if he would have got him right there, we need 1 more turn. Okay, now he can die again. Now he can die again and come back. So to me, that's pretty awesome. And we're doing it, I don't know if you noticed or not, but it's a 4-man run. We have done this from the beginning with just 4 people. 4 only. Apothecary, War Maiden, Frozen Banshee, Bushi. You know, once we get to the dragon, it's done. Frozen Banshee can take over. Frozen Banshee will not do her poison sensitivity on the waves, and she will never do her A2 on the bosses. So you don't have to worry about turn meter mess up on the bosses, especially for the clan boss. But here we go. So she's here, we're here. Bushi's actually gonna do some damage. As long as he doesn't weak hit, he's gonna do some decent damage in here. Not a problem, and help out. But we don't need the help. We have the poisons up. Frozen Banshee will do everything that we need to do. Look at those. They're just stacking up. It's game over. Completely done. Okay, after this, we're going to do 1 more run, and then we'll look at the gear I have on this champions. Again, this Bushi is at 142 speed. The Torture Helm you saw before is at like 28,000 HP, maybe less. And then the Basilisk that I use whenever I ran my Lizardman team is just really low, 20,000 HP, somewhere around there. Because my team is so strong with the Lizardmen, I know I can make it through there. But in case there is a hiccup during that, and somebody does get to attack, they will attack him. And then he's going to come back to life anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Okay, we're done with this run. Let's get on. I did a Fire Knight run as well, but I didn't think it was... I didn't think you guys want to just keep seeing runs go on and watch the enemies just attacking whatever champion I put in there. But keep in mind, we are doing this with DPS champions, or we're really doing this with champions that can come back to life, which makes it pretty exciting. And I think I like to play these different champions, but what we really need to do... So Bushi made it through, right? We go into the end here. Pay attention, they're going to attack him. Of course, the boss is going to AoE us, but the one that does damage and blocks healing is always going to attack Bushi, which is good. Not bad at all. We're not using the off affinity tank, but we will use it more. What I want to do in my next video is I want to take somebody who is really tanky, low HP, super high defense, but the strong affinity. So they're attacking this tank all the time. That's going to shrug off damage, also get weak hits so they can't apply debuffs on him. It's going to be pretty fun to always put a strong affinity as the tank in there and then have the AI attack them. That's pretty exciting to me. that we can do that with anybody. Even at level 50, we can come in there, low HP, high defense, let them tack the strong affinity where they're doing minimal damage, hardly ever putting up debuffs, and that person not really dying, not really taking much damage at all. You have Apothecary in there, easy runs. So right now you've seen Bushi's putting up numbers. Look at him. He's putting up numbers. They're coming after him. So if you have issues with your DPS are always dying, or problems getting them back up, right here, who do we have as a healer? We have Painkeeper as a healer. She's a great rare. Painkeeper's an amazing rare. We've also had a lot of help with Sylar in here. I noticed that her stuns on Sylar's AoEs have been stunning quite a few people, but I just wanted to kind of show you here what Bushi can really do. If you ever wanted to play that champion, actually a really good champion now. We'll have to do a full guide on him, but he's putting out the numbers. He's getting it through here. Let's go check out these champions. We know what's going to happen. We're going to beat this pretty easy. Here's Torture Helm. This is legit. This is Torture Helm. This is the gear I had on him going through that run. Look at this gear. That is nuts. Torture Helm right here at 19. He had 19,688 HP, and that's it. 169 speed, and we were just playing off of this right here, and they were attacking him even though he's the strong affinity. That's pretty nuts. This is it. You take a Torture Helm, 5-star, get it to 4-star if you want to. Give him the 3-star extension so he can get this ability and come back with life. I think that's pretty wild. Let's go over here and see if we can find Bushi, what he was running with. I know Bushi was really slow, but that's fine. He was putting out some damage. He was doing really well. He was taking the hits. There he is. Now, he actually does have gear on him because I want to do damage with him. He's got a really high power on him right now. So we have 312 critical damage. We don't need to worry about crit rate, even though somehow I was able to get some crit rate in here. He's got good attack. He's going to have low stats. That's what we want. We want him to be attacked because it's no problem. He's going to come back to life. 148 speed, still putting out insane damage. We don't need to worry about crit, and he's a much better champion than he was before with these buffs. Okay, then we have Basilisk was the last one I used. You can use Basilisk as well in the same fashion that we use Torture Helm. And Basilisk has got some cool abilities, so if you wanted to put stun artifacts on him, he has an AoE on his A1, and then he can actually stun somebody here. But he's going to come back, but his is on a 4-turn cooldown. A little bit longer than the 3 turns. I think it's going to make a big difference. We need that 3-turn cooldown. So I did use him as well, and this is the gear I had on him. So let me know, what do you guys think about this? I think it is a great strategy. It works out very well. It could help some of you out there. I hope it does. Now, the next one we're going to do a video on are tanks that can do this. Tanks that are high defense that can do this for us. It's pretty fun. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate your time, and I will see you all on a video soon.